Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. Well, there's been a bit of, I wouldn't say movement, but regarding hyllion, there's been sorry about any background noise, first of all, we are outside. There's been quite a bit of action going on in the war of words. I will be talking about Cramer and his market manipulation later on. I will include some videos which have some of which has been taken down nationwide, so I don't expect this video to stay up long. I do not get credit for any of these videos. There are people who put these videos up, so I do not expect them to have their videos up long, but I suggest you watch them and take them out. You'll see Cramer having meltdowns and his response to different people, and how when hyllion hit $28 first time before it hit 55, he said back then it was going to go down to $20. He was giving out a $20 price target to his friends in the city. You know, it's he's always insisted a $20 price target. So this is why I say, if you're not in hyllion, or if you want to average down, at $22 isn't a bad price, because once it hits $20, him and his friends will buy in, it will go up, he will claim he's a success, and then they'll sell out. But anyway, on with the show. Thomas Healy has tweeted in response to Jim Cramer's tweet: next time you're discussing hyllion on Mad Money, be happy to come on and share what we're up to. I'll even bring one of our electric trucks so you can drive it, experience it firsthand. Now, we know Thomas Healy's like. He let someone who just came along to look at the factory from the outside get in one of the prototype trucks and drive it, and he gave him a tour. So I think Cramer should take him up on it. It would lift the stock, and I think if he doesn't, it would bring Cramer into question rather than Healy. Look at what happened with Psth. Psth offered to go on Mad Money, and they couldn't find a slot for him that week. I had to put him back another week. Him and his friends in the city don't like SPACs, because you have the average people like me and you making money where his friends should be the ones making money. That's the way they see it. Anyway, let's get to the... And don't forget to hit that lovely like button, almost as lovely as me. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Savvy Money Show family. We give each other hints and tips and updates about stocks and shares we talk about on the show. As well as that, you can ask me to look into any share you want, and I don't charge a Discord fee or ask for a Patreon. All I do ask is for you to comment in the box below, and hit the like button. Even if you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me, I like a debate, and if I do something wrong, I want you to call me on it so I can improve the channel. And why not check out the links in the description below? There's lots of others. I've used each one of them myself. I wouldn't give you links if I haven't checked them out myself. If you're looking for a free trading platform which should trade your stocks and shares, you know, you can get a free share worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing a small amount. A free trade only requires a £1 deposit. The others require £100 or dollars, depending on which one you go for. Stake has over 3,500 US stocks on their books, which is the biggest one outside of the US. Whereas Trading 212 is one of the best and easiest platforms to use. But as I said, I use all three. Anyway, on with the show.
Tweet last night. Now, he called you shallow fake. Can you give me that definition of that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's always soul-searching when you've got Elon, late 40s man. My father, when I came home, second grade, Mrs. Turoff's class, I got a B in history. And my father said that I was faking. I wasn't doing enough work. That's the last person who's basically accused me of being a shallow fake. So
I'll stop this here because I won't go through the whole thing. I'll link it in the description below. But Elon gave him a tweet and it sent him back to an argument he had with his father. That shows you the kind of meltdown he was having. I suggest you look at it while you can, because a couple of videos they've taken down nationwide.
back. What am I supposed to just say? Hey, great job? All right, anyway. Okay, Peter writes, should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no. Bear Stearns is fine. Do not take your money out. This is real. If there's one takeaway other than a plus 400 somewhere, Bear Stearns is not in trouble. I mean, if anything, they're more likely to be taken over. Don't move your money from Bear. That's just being silly. Don't be silly. Their money's back after the break.
And then you see his response that when he...
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for Stop Trading. Jim Cramer is here. Jim, lots to talk about today. Bear Stearns first, and I know you and I were just talking in the commercial about this letter that you got. It said, Dear Jim, should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? That was from Peter. That was a question to you about a week ago. You replied, no, 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 Bear Stearns is not in trouble. If anything, they're more likely to be taken over. You were right about that. Don't move your money from Bear. Maybe you weren't right about that.
No,
what do you
no.
say?
Look, let's understand two things. I said the common stock was worthless on Friday, as soon as the thing was at 36, because we then saw a look at the bonds. If you kept your money at Bear, you made out. You got the liquidity. I mean, look, keeping money at Bear was I guess I could have caused a run on the bank and say, take your money out of Bear. I guess people could say, hold it. He's not saying, take your money out of Bear, keep your money in Bear. He's saying, buy the common stock. Then what the heck? You want me to say that I cannot cause a run? It turned out that the Federal Reserve guaranteed the money. I'm not going to tell people to pull money out of these places. The Federal Reserve's guaranteeing the money. They're just not guaranteeing the equity. I've got a lot of things wrong in my life, but I do not regret the fact that I said don't take your money out of Bear. Because if you had your money in Bear, you still got it today. Remember, there's Bear Stearns the common, and that person was asking about whether to pull the money out of Bear. We got a guarantee. JP Morgan is now Bear.
Oh, I see. So you're saying if you're an investor, if you're someone who had money that Bear was managing, you're a hedge fund. Okay.
Sure was. I came out and said at 36 the stock was worthless, for heaven's sake. No one was saying that.
Right. So your answer to this is, hey, Aaron, I want to make sure everyone understands. I wasn't saying keep your money in Bear common stock.
You know what would happen if I came out and said, do you know what would happen on this show if I came out and said I want everyone to take their money out of X bank? Jim Cramer causes a run on X bank. mean, that would be stupid, reckless, and wrong because the Fed is guaranteeing it. I mean, we want to play that game. I can give you 5 banks, and I got to tell you, every one of them I won't own the common stock, but I would never take a dime out of the vault, for heaven's sake.
All right. So that when they knew somebody else was making a big bet that it was bad. Joining us, Sylvan Raines, expert in structured finance and R&R Consulting, and co-author of the upcoming book, Elements of Structured Finance, due out this May. Jim Cramer and David Faber with us as well. David, let me go to you first because we all heard you asking quite a few of the questions there to Mr. Kazani. What did you make of his responses, or in fact, to some of your questions, frankly, lack of response?
Yeah, listen, I'm just trying to understand specifically where the SEC believes the fraud was, and I think you got at least some answer there. And just trying to understand how this transaction differed from other synthetic CDO transactions. You've got to remember, this market, and I've said this a number of times to you, Aaron, we've talked about it with Jim as well, it's a market that in many ways should never have existed, frankly. You had a $12 trillion physical mortgage market. Why did you need to create a synthetic market for mortgages? Nonetheless, it did exist, and there were a lot of questionable practices that went on in this market in the period of late 2006.
There's another side, and in fact is setting it up.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. I'm pleased to be on this show since most of your previous guests were public relations officers for Goldman. Is it okay if I'm a little critical?
I don't like to hear that.
I think that people may take issue with that.
I don't need to hear that nonsense.
Oh, Mr. Cramer, I would like to remind you that the word is abacus, not abacus. Now, I'd like to answer the question, Aaron. Is that okay?
Yes, but please don't make any personal allegations that anyone on the show. If you could
that implies that I take money from Goldman Sachs. I resent that.
Mr. Cramer, please let me answer. You had your chance.
It's your charge that I took money, and I will.
So then go ahead and make your case. Jim will respond.
Okay, it's quite possible that Goldman had an equity position. They probably wrote it off on the cloak.
It's a very dramatic statement, Jim. Very dramatic statement.
I thought about this all weekend.
Yeah?
I did not want to say these things on TV. I don't want to say.
So what is coming that makes you say that?
I believe that we could have as much as a 20% decline in the stock market. If you can withstand that, of which most people can't, then I think what you have to do, if you can withstand it, is just ride it out.
Why do you think a 20% decline? Where does this number come from?
Well, I calculate the individual Dow stocks and see how far they could fall, retracing much of the move between 2000 and 2005. So literally, I'm just counting Dow stock by Dow stock. That's where I get it.
We've got corporate earnings, third quarter earnings reports coming out this week. How do you think that might affect the market this week?
I think that the previous quarter, the one that we're now hearing from, was a terrible quarter, but it will look good versus the coming quarter.
All right, Jim Cramer. Sometime, come back and tell us some good news next time, okay?
I would love to.
And you can catch Mad Money weeknights at 6 and 11 Eastern on CNBC.
He was basically telling people to sell during a crash, and as we know, they come out stronger after the crash. It always does, like it did this year. And he has been shown to be wrong just as many times as he's been right. He's also been shown to manipulate it. So many times he said pile into this stock, and then a week or two later he said sell this stock. And I realise with stocks they can change week on week, but it's because he's pumping and dumping. Yeah. And he knows just by having someone on the show will pump her stock. And yet he brings people like Trevor, gives room to people like Trevor, Milton, in the past Elizabeth Holmes, rather than other companies which are small or mid-cap companies but have more credibility, purely because they're not as volatile. Something like Hyllion is a credible company. They are gaining contracts day by day. they're gaining traction, but because they do not concentrate on PR, it is an easy target for Cramer and his buddies. So they will keep digging until Healy digs back. And we know from with Elon Musk, you never piss off a genius. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Get it out to as many people as possible, and watch the videos in the description while they're still up. I'll see you in the next video.